And to my unit of amplification, salute. Welcome to the Amped Up Podcast, Wednesday, September 27th, 2023. We indeed have a packed, stacked, jacked show for you today. No, really. I feel really good about this show. We usually have a badass show, but listen to these topics. On today's podcast, Jade Cargill speaks out on why she jumped ship from AEW to WWE. And wait till you hear what she says, especially about the influence Cody Rhodes had on her decision. We'll talk all about it. Tony Khan, what is he doing? I respect his loyalty. Just as he said, and I agree, in a pro wrestling world that doesn't have much loyalty, I appreciate it, I respect it. I talk about it greatly on this channel. But sometimes you gotta think with your business cap on. You have to think business. You do have to think 5, 10 years down the road and beyond. You still want to be an organization 5, 10 years down the line. Wait till you hear what Tony Khan said about his next TV rights deal. What he is willing to accept. I still cannot fathom that he said these words. We're going to talk about it in today's podcast. We're also going to talk WWE stock. Everybody thought after a couple, 2-3 days, after the releases and after the big letdown, when they believed they were going to get over $300 million a year on their next TV rights deal for SmackDown, and they only got $287, still a ton of money, but you left so much on the table. After everything kind of settled, the smoke settled, the dust cleared out. Everybody thought it would regroup. It went down even more. We're going to talk about how WWE continues to lose money internally. We're also going to talk the ratings, Raw's rating. Wait till you hear this. In Collision, I cannot believe what we are seeing with Collision's numbers post-Punk. It's the opposite of what everybody thought was going to happen. I told you we had a packed show. We're also going to discuss Tony Khan buying New Japan Pro Wrestling. I have the answer for you. The legit confirmed answer is Tony buying New Japan Pro Wrestling. Wait till you hear this. And hold up. We're not done with the cold open teaser yet. A top female in AEW, and I'm not talking top in terms of popularity or booking, but behind the scenes, a very respected top female in AEW, possible major heat on this lady, to the point where she may no longer be with the company. A lot of conflicting reports, but BC's going to talk all about it. So all of this and more, man. We got the first coffee of the day rocking. BC's going to get a big swig of this coffee. Hopefully you guys grab your beverage of choice. Lock in your earbuds. Smash that up. Because you ain't a geek. You ain't a dweeb. You ain't a nerd. You ain't a doofus son-in-law. My guess is you're pretty badass. So smash that up and let's get amplified. My amplified unit from the red team to the gold unit channel members. How you doing, huh? No, I said how you doing, huh? I hope everybody, and I do mean everybody, is kicking ass today. We're going to go right into one of the main stories. I'm going to make you guys wait. Jade Cargill. Why did she jump ship to WWE? Many people saying, why, Jade, why? Did you turn your back on the company that made you, All Elite Wrestling, to go to World Wrestling Entertainment? Well, let's hear it from the Jade's mouth herself. What do you guys say? This is a quote. She says a lot. She says a lot. I believe this was The Ringer. Not sure if that's an article, a podcast, but The Ringer was able to get some good quotes. And there's a lot of good stuff, man, to dive into here. Jade Cargill says the following. I came to WWE because I want to create a legacy. I want to be in the Hall of Fame. Now, I hope Jade does know it's not a physical Hall of Fame, but it is a cool ring to wear on your hand. I want to wrestle the best women in the world. Oof. See, that's going to upset a lot of the AEW tried and true diehards who believe that their roster is the best in the world. And maybe you didn't have to say that. You just got to the Performance Center, and now you're already talking about the WWE's women is the best. But that's what she says. And she's entitled to that thought. I want to wrestle the best women in the world. I mean, there is no grander stage than this stage. I mean, she's letting you know, man, this was a pretty easy decision. Actually, I think she says that later in this quote, doesn't she? The opportunities are endless with this company. It was a no-brainer. There you go. It was a no-brainer. It was very welcoming. I didn't have any second thoughts about it at all. It was just an easy choice. Wow. Well then, how about that? And then she goes on to say, you should always bet on Jade because I'm a star in the making. I'm going to keep my head down and work hard. I'm a worker. It's what I do. At the end of the day, my star power is undeniable. What I do in the ring is undeniable. I want to become a household name. That's what I'm here for. As far as going to the NXT Performance Center, or WWE's Performance Center, or NXT headquarters, basically, reps, quality coaching, the staff, the best training facility in the entire world. That's why I'm here. That's what this system can do for me. I don't need this business. I can go home and be relatively fine. I'm here because I'm hungry. I love what I do, and I want to create a legacy for myself, my daughter, and my family. I don't need the money. This comes from my heart. So she says straight out, my star power is undeniable. She says that the opportunities are endless with this company. It's exactly what I told you guys in yesterday's podcast. This pro wrestler, this beast, this super athlete, she has aspirations and goals that are way bigger than just pro wrestling, and she knows that this is the vehicle to not only get her there quicker, but where her star is going to shine brighter. And that's no diss to AEW. I've been telling you for the longest time, WWE is a better fit for somebody like Jade Cargill. Because even in AEW, a lot of the criticism was she's too green, supposedly. She's not that good of a wrestler. That's what you heard a lot. And you heard those at a more amplified tone ever since word broke that she has signed with the WWE, right? Oh, no big loss. She's not that great of a wrestler. She's too green. And BC's over here like, who cares if she can do a suicide dive or a Canadian destroyer from the top rope, a 450 splash, or hurricanrana through to the outside through a table? Who cares? She is a brighter star. Presence alone, and you book around it. You play to the strengths, you hide the weaknesses, and you let a star be a star. Too many fans today wrapped up around work rate and how many sequences you can pull off in a short amount of time. How high can you jump? How many flips can you do? Doesn't make a star. The biggest names, some of the biggest names in recent memory, or you can go back 30 years. The biggest names were never the most skilled in terms of sequences, or mat technician, or their aerial assault. Hulk Hogan to the Ultimate Warrior. Even Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're not going to see Stone Cold and Vikingo have a high-flying, fast-paced match that makes you go, ooh, ah, this is awesome, and give it 6 stars, Meltzy. No. Kenny Omega versus Hulk Hogan or Warrior or Stone Cold. Kenny Omega is going to have to dumb it down about 85% in terms of his style of wrestle. Some of the biggest names, even stunning Steve Austin, when he had more pep in his step, he was younger. And stunning Steve Austin could do a lot more in that ring than Stone Cold. But isn't it funny how Stone Cold made more money than stunning Steve? Right? At a slowed down pace, a couple of bad knees. All Stone Cold could do was stomp a mud hole in you, what? Deliver the Lou Thez press, what? Drop a stunner on you, what? Flip you off, what? Drink a few couple 2, 3 or more beers, what? And that's what everybody paid to see. Jade Cargill doesn't have to live up to this high-flying, ultra-fast-paced, sequenced style of wrestling today. No. Jade Cargill can go in there, put on a few moves, drop somebody on their dome piece, walk out, and you're going, damn, that's a beast. Jade Cargill knows she's a star. Tony Khan knows she's a star. Look at the way Tony booked Jade Cargill. Was there a lot of botches along the way? No question. Was she on Rampage too many times, taking on too many nobody names? Yes. But the whole goal that Tony Khan was going for was like a female Goldberg, right? So you can't go through the entire top echelon of your women's roster. You're going to have Handjob Holly in there, receptionist Rebecca. You're going to have Booyaka Becky in there. You're going to have Jolly Balls Jennifer. And all these other local female talent from the local bingo halls. You're going to have them in matches with Jade Cargill and what many people say, jobber matches. But jobber matches are still needed today. Jobber matches is how you build stars. So the entire audience, casual or long-term, they know that's the star and that's the person that's about to get annihilated. When you have star versus star every show, every match, everybody is going to be 50-50 booked. Tony Khan knew Jade Cargill was and is a star. That's why she was booked as such. Paul Levesque McMahon sees star in Jade Cargill. Now we just hope Paul Levesque McMahon books her as such. But she knew this was the only vehicle that was going to get her to where she would like to be. Interestingly enough, when asked about Cody Rhodes, she says this. In his role, remember I told you yesterday, something isn't adding up. I just feel like Cody Rhodes influenced this deal. Came together rather fast. And we know how tight she is with Cody. And Cody and others training her. And how high she speaks on Cody Rhodes. So she says this. He's a phenomenal man. I've seen what the business did for him. I've seen him just be the stellar athlete that he is. And I didn't see it any different for myself. Yes, he was one of the guys that led me to a great decision. Didn't sugarcoat it. Didn't BS it. Didn't hide it. No subliminal message. No cryptic message. It was just straight out, yup. He was one of the guys that led me to a great decision. When it comes to Cody Rhodes, Jade Cargill says, this is a quote, he laid down the blueprint to how to be successful from AEW to WWE, to basically how to jump ship. Cody Rhodes laid down the blueprint. I think a lot of AEW stars saw that. They were waiting to see how Cody was booked. The WrestleMania botch, no question. But it's clear that Cody is considered a top star in WWE. It's clear that he gets one of the loudest and best reactions. before Mania or after Mania. And I told you guys, even after the Mania botch, the reactions weren't going to go away. It's how long can we limp through the rest of the year to get us to 40, and that's only if he takes on Roman, if The Rock doesn't do that match. So, Cody Rhodes, she doesn't try to hide the fact that, yeah, he was a pivotal piece in all of this. Did Cody Rhodes broker this whole deal is the question, right? I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt if Cody Rhodes told Paul, can you meet with Jade? Because Paul's all over this. Paul Levesque is more giddy than anything. Paul loves these type of females. You guys know that. Jacked up B status, right? Chyna was his girlfriend. You guys remember Chyna? She's big. He's big on the Rhea Ripleys. He's big on the Raquel Rodriguez's. He likes them beasts. And if you're beautiful like Jade, bonus. Because Jade is a very beautiful woman. So Paul Levesque, he went right on his little social doohickey machine, and he touted this. I'm sure Paul Levesque wanted this leaked to ESPN, Sports Illustrated, because it was leaked by WWE before she even stepped foot in the Performance Center. You know, we talk Hulk Hogan and Warrior and Stone Cold. You can add in people like The Rock. I don't know how many suicide dives Rock was doing. Right? How many Canadian destroyers was The Rock really doing? How many times did The Rock jump 20, 30 feet off of something through tables or even a moonsault? How many times did The Rock do a moonsault? I don't think ever. But The Rock was just a star. Stone Cold could just flip you off, stomp a mud hole, drop a stunner, and in 2 minutes, you got your money's worth. A whole era before that, Hogan, Warrior, and so many others. How about an era after the Attitude Era? Ruthless Aggression. How many Canadian destroyers was Batista doing from the top rope through a table? Or how many suicide dives was Batista doing? Or John Cena? How many moonsaults or 450 splashes was John Cena doing? It doesn't matter which era you pick, right? They all have one thing in common. The top stars, it was about star power. Star power. If you can go 20, 25 minutes in the ring with some great sequences, even better. But just make us feel something, man. To this day, The Undertaker could go out there, drop a choke slam and a tombstone pile driver, and we watch that 12 times a year for the next 10 years. Bare minimum. Star power. Presence. Make it believable. If you do 2 to 3 moves, make them flawless. Your interactions, your mannerisms, your expressions, everything. On the mic, she could just say those 4 words. Cut the shit, Tony. That's all you needed. Those 4 words would be better than most of the AEW's women's locker room on the mic. Believably, she could take out Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax, and Charlie Flair. Maybe all at once. So if you're wondering BC's thoughts on the criticism of, Jade Cargill's too green, she can't wrestle, who the cares? I'm not looking for another 6-star banger type wrestler. I'm not looking for the next person that can have an hour-long Iron Man or Iron Woman match. I just want to believe that a badass SOB is going to take on another badass SOB, and we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be entertaining. Everybody's going to do proper business. Everybody is going to enjoy the product, the show, the segment. Everybody's going to care to tune in again to see it continue and eventually, hopefully, have a climax moment that is badass. I miss that in pro wrestling. The dudes, the females, I miss wrestlers that are superstars, like legit stars, that you would not pass by in a supermarket or a mall and not even know you just passed by. Dan Garcia, or Ricochet. But you damn well bet your ass you're gonna know when you walk by The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, or Jonathan Cena, or Batista, or Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, Jade Cargill. Built like a tank, Jade Cargill's better than most dudes today in 2023. Most dudes today don't even care about going to the gym. They just care about trying to fit into their skinny jeans. Or trying to put Bernie Sanders stickers on their back of their Prius. Oh, I'm sorry. They're Teslas. Oh, bad. But Jade Cargill. One thing I always loved about her too, man. Many things, but she'll tell you exactly what she's thinking. She doesn't hold it back. She don't give any F's. There's not 1, 2, 3, any. You could look right, left, up, down, all around. You ain't gonna see a flying fuck given by Miss Cargill. A lot to digest in those words, man. But she made it very clear this was an easy decision and this is the only place for her. Kind of agree. And it does suck, man. Tony Khan invested a lot in her. I mean, she ran through a lot of individuals. The title was on her for what, 508 days? That TBS championship, Goldberg type treatment. And the second that contract was up, she's like, peace. But again, how much of that was Cody Rhodes? I think this is just the beginning of how many people Cody is going to bring over or have great influence, right? Cody Rhodes is going to bring over eventually Ricky Starks and many others. I truly believe that this is not the last AEW superstar wrestler to jump ship. Interesting. Also, guys, we'll go back to WWE. We got to talk the stock and we're going to talk the rating for Raw. But I want to jump over to AEW. We're going to kind of balance this podcast out. AEW, man, Tony Khan, I can't believe this dude said this. Now, he's talking about staying on Warner Brothers Discovery. Okay? The TV rights deal for him, just like WWE, it ends in 2024, end of 2024. So right now, you're negotiating. So Tony Khan is really talking about loyalty, how you don't really see a lot of loyalty anymore in pro. I'll give you his exact quote. I don't think it would be fair to talk about possible bidders or outside speculation for our next rights deal. Right now, we're on Warner Brothers Discovery, and I find that in the entertainment business, there is not a lot of loyalty at times. And there should be. This is a family business. We're not a public company. So he wants to decipher that against WWE. He says not every family business has those principles, but we do. And that's how I was raised. I have to say, I feel there's not enough loyalty in the entertainment business. Yes, it's no secret, and it is at the end of the day, a business. And we will be up at the end of 2024. He's talking about the rights deal. So he is telling you, he is confirming that, but we already knew that. That's why he says it's no secret. We'll be up at the end of 2024, and I would love to stay at Warner Brothers Discovery forever. I think it's great for fans to have wrestling on TBS and TNT. And he's saying that because of the heritage of wrestling on TBS and TNT. WCW, NWA, you name it. He goes on to say, Mr. Zaslav, that's the Warner Brothers Discovery CEO, by the way. He's been really kind to me and given me great opportunities. If all things being equal, or even a couple cents difference, I would probably even take a penny or two less to stay at Warner Brothers Discovery. You don't see that in the media business very much. That kind of loyalty. I really appreciate everything they've done for me and continue to do. No, he did not. Please tell me he didn't just say that. You gotta tap into your inner Booker T right there, man. I have told you guys for the longest time, many different times in every way imaginable, how I respect Tony Khan's loyalty and that he does not run business as ruthlessly as WWE. For instance, WWE, they'll release 100 wrestlers and fire 300 employees, and an hour later, they'll talk about recording record revenue, right? They're not... Read the room. Think before you speak. What are you saying? You just 300, 400, 700 people just lost their jobs. We're exaggerating a little bit, but we've seen times where over 150 people did. 50 plus talent and over 100 employees. There's been several times where that's happened. And an hour later, they recorded record revenue and told everybody. The optics are horrible. Read the room. A lot of people just lost their job. They don't want to know that you just recorded record revenue and now they're not going to have food on the table. So, but it's business, right? The reason WWE does that, it's all the business side of it. When all those people lose their jobs, that sends your shareholders, anybody involved in that stock, that sends them into a panic. Uh-oh, what's happening? Why is this going on? Why is everybody losing their jobs? Where's it? What's the chaos going on right now in WWE? Well, it's a good thing to kind of balance that out, isn't it? So after all the panic sets in, you want to reassure everybody everything's fine. Guess what? We just recorded record revenue again. Listen to this, and then you spit out all of your statistics over the last quarter. So then everyone's relaxed. Oh, whew. Record revenue. Okay, so this is just part of some cuts. This is going to make us even more money. So this is WWE's way to say, don't worry, you're going to make even more money now because of these cuts. So it's by design that WWE does this, right? An hour later, after everybody loses their job or so many people, they then say, hey, look at us. We're making so much money. It's by design. Keeps everything balanced, and it doesn't send the market into a frenzy or a panic. So Tony Khan decides to do the opposite. He doesn't like to lay people off. You know that by the bloated roster he has. Over 200 talents, and he keeps signing more. And you got to believe a couple, 2, 3 of these releases from WWE, they'll end up showing up. I don't know if it's going to be as high as an Edge or somebody like an Ali. Maybe a Dolph the Dolph. Of course, they all could have great matches and fit in somewhere, but where are you fitting them? Tony Khan's roster is so bloated. You're trying to spread them out between a Dynamite and a Rampage and a Collision and an ROH. It gets confusing for a lot of fans. That's why the ratings are all over the place. There's no consistency with a Rampage to a Collision to a Dynamite. We'll talk ratings in a little bit, but Tony Khan I've always praised for his loyalty. That's awesome. The way he goes about business, in many ways, better, definitely. In terms of, just went straight Boston for you. In terms of respect, Tony Khan absolutely runs this business good. In terms of the actual financial side, not so much. It's a bloated roster. A lot of people have to be cut from that roster. We know that. He has to put a stop to the hiring. We all know that. And he cannot ever say things like, I am willing to take less money on the new deal. Because that's what he said. If all things are equal, meaning even if they give us the deal we just got, I'm happy. No. Don't say you're willing to take the same deal. Negotiate, talk, make your case. And then he says not just that, if all things equal, I'm good. But then he says, even, and this is a quote, even if it's a couple cents difference, I would, listen to this. This is a quote. I would probably even take a penny or two less. And he's not actually talking pennies, folks. He's not talking a $20 bill or a $100 bill. He's talking thousands of dollars. Bare minimum, thousands and thousands. tens of thousands, possibly. I would probably take a penny or two less to stay at Warner Brothers Discovery. You do not show your hand like that. I hope he does not play poker, because wow, he would lose every hand every time. I have never heard somebody or an entity or a conglomerate that's about to go into heavy negotiations say that well in advance, I'm willing to take a lot less money, by the way, because I'm about loyalty. No, this is more than that. This is Tony Khan reading the room, and I think he's already starting to hear, ooh, they're not as high on us anymore. Collision did not bring in what they were hoping for. The rumors are not true. They're not that happy with AEW right now. They're not willing to give us that much more money, if any. So it sounds like Tony Khan is trying to iron some things out right now. Hey, man, we just want the TV deal. Tony Khan, this is like, a lot of people said this. It's like just a passion project. He just likes wrestling, and he's just like, these are like his action figures when he was younger, but now they're like real life. He doesn't run this like a business often. He doesn't run this like a business that's going to turn profit anytime soon. Because to this day, he says, he admits, they haven't turned a real profit yet. They've been in business over 5 years. They still have not yet turned a profit. He's talking about after 5 years and finally going into this next TV rights deal, he's talking about taking less money. He's willing to do it. He must be hearing things, right? He must have already had some talks for him to say something like that. Remember, everybody was like, he's getting $1 billion not long ago. They just got $1 billion. BC was like, no, they did. I didn't hear any confirmation on that. Tony Khan didn't boast it. Come to find out, Warner Discovery didn't want to do any business with them long term for Dynamite or anything. Not yet. They were seeing how things go. Man, let this be a business lesson 101 for everybody. Do not ever, when you're about to go negotiate, don't ever say way in advance that you're willing to walk away with less. It's business 101. And his excuse, his reason is because I'm loyal. I'm loyal, so I'm going to take less money. I can't fathom that. I've never heard anything like that. You can call Vince McMahon ruthless and an asshole and a scumbag and all that. You may even be right on a lot of it. But man, businessman, top-notch personified. And I don't even agree with all of his tactics and the way that he conducts all of his business, but damn, does he know how to run business. Damn, he knew how to take something that was about to go out of business before WrestleMania 1, if it didn't succeed, into a $9.3 billion product and conglomerate. Tony Khan's like, I'm willing to take less money. Just keep us on the air because I believe in loyalty. I've never heard anything like it, man. You know, you want AEW to be around in 5 years, 10 years. You want it to eventually one day really compete with WWE, so WWE is forced to up their game. Until WWE ever gets real competition, they're never going to be forced to up their game. Paul Levesque McMahon told you what about AEW? They're a pissant t-shirt company. Paul Levesque McMahon takes every opportunity to slam AEW. Nobody's happier, and he's not even high on Cody Rhodes, right? He's not the one that flew out to see Cody. That was Vincent Kennedy, obviously, Brucifer Pritchard, Nicholas Khan, whatever. But Paul Levesque, man, getting Jade Cargill, you know that's a smile he went to bed with that night, probably for the next week, month plus. Paul Levesque McMahon doesn't look at them as real comp, and until that day comes, you know, WWE's not forced to up their game. Paul Levesque McMahon can keep phoning in these Raws. Speaking of, by the way, let's go to some of those ratings, man. Raw and Collision. Wait till you hear this. And Tony Khan, no, don't tell people you're going to take less money before you even get to the negotiating table. And that's 101. It's business 101. Even if you are willing to accept less money, that's fine. It's not, but he's loyal. Don't tell them that. Still try to get profit, man. You're busting your ass. Make money. Don't sell yourself short. So weird. Don't tell because Warner Discovery isn't about loyalty, I can assure you. Warner Discovery, Zaslav doesn't give a shit. He's looking to make every penny for sure. Oh, you're willing to accept less? Okay. Shit, you're cheaper than a rerun of Law & Order, SVU, or Blue Bloods. Monday Night Raw this week scored a 1.4. A 1.4. Now, I know you're thinking, BC, that is treacherous. That's horrible. That is absolute tragedy. That's unacceptable. Yeah, you're right on all that. Check, and check. But the good news is it went up from a 1-3. Hey, 2 football games. I told you guys. It's not about football. It's not about it's just about what is more interesting. Look at the 2 games this week, right? This was like, okay, 2 NFL games that are, come on, the Bengals are playing. The Bengals! These are 2 football games you could easily try to persuade your audience to at least tune in during commercials. And the ratings this week, unlike the last 2 weeks, it shows that more people at least tuned in during commercials, and that upped it a little bit. The ratings for the quarterlies also showed us that there was a big enough audience for Q1. So that helped them get over 1.4, not stay in 1.3 for the 3rd week in a row. But the quarterlies also showed us that nobody cared afterwards. What do you mean nobody wanted to stick around for Sami and KO versus the Judgment Day for the 97th time? What do you mean they don't want to see Nia Jax compete? What do you mean they don't want to see the Vikings and Kofi Kingston again? What do you mean they don't want to see Natty and Tegan Nox for an opportunity at Becky Lynch's NXT Championship? I'm not surprised at all. For the 3rd week in a row, they can't eclipse 1.5. So the light at the end of the tunnel, right? I love how everybody's spinning at all the dirt sheets and everything, right? Raw sees the uptick. Raw sees an increase. Okay, 1.4 some odd. And the previous 2 weeks, 1.3 some odd. So if the new normal is 1.3, 1.4, okay? Yeah, I'll even give you 1.5. After football, your high, you're telling me, is 1.6, 1.7. Off from the 1.8, 1.9 last year. So you're dropping that 2 to 250 that I was telling you guys every year that Raw is dropping. That's literally by football next year, you'll be under 1 million viewers, at least for a few weeks. We're actually going to do it. I would say it's something we joked about for so long, didn't think it would actually happen, but I never joked about it. I was telling you guys, they're losing this amount of viewers every year. Like, there's going to come a day you're going to see Raw under 1 million viewers. By football next year, you could see that. 1.4, and everybody is celebrating in WWE. If that doesn't tell you how bad things got on the Monday night side of things for WWE. Over on Collision, this is the bigger story for me. This is wild, man. The high 500Ks is what they got, man. Over 550. I don't have the exact number. It's over 550. They've been going upwards from the 3 semi to the 400s, now into the higher 500s. This is all without CM Punk. Everybody said it was going to collapse anyway with all the stiff competition, especially when WWE is running a Saturday night event and you have college football games and you got the UFC prelims that are pretty badass. AEW is going to take the hit. Now you don't even have CM Punk. Forget about it. Just wrap the show up, send it on its way. No, it's actually going up, or slowly but surely, and I'm not saying that 500 sem-odd is a good number, not by any means. But my point is, we're starting to see it go up. College football came back. Prelims are still going on. It's going upwards without Philip CM Punk Brooks. Now, BC didn't even see that happening. I knew that Brooks isn't the draw that he once was, but I was like, all right, that show was built around him. You have to believe that a lot of Punk fans were watching it. Now it looks like even more people are watching than when Brooks was on the show. Wild, man. But Collision went up. It's upticking towards 600,000 viewers, man. So I'm not saying that Warner Discovery is having a parade. They're busting out the floats and the confetti, but I mean, that's a telling number, man, without Phillip Brooks. And the number is going up. Weird, man. Wacky. Sticking with AEW for a second, Tony Khan buying New Japan Pro Wrestling. You guys hear the rumors? Well, I'm here to stomp those rumors out because Tony Khan is not buying New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't know how that would even pop up. Tony Khan himself said, I don't even know how that speculation started. I never said that. I never sparked that speculation, but it's good for business, he says. The controversy around it, the talk around it for Wrestle Dream. So he's saying, hey, I'm not snuffing out the rumors, but that's not the speculation that I don't even know how that got started. So he's telling you straight out. And guys, everything I'm hearing, there is not even talks. New Japan Pro Wrestling is not selling to Tony Khan or anybody. So I know that's a fun thing out there. I didn't want to I won't tell you if Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny is real. The Easter Bunny. So I went Boston earlier. Now I'm going down south and got the Easter Bunny. You guys down here see the Easter Bunny? He was over there just a couple, 2-3 minutes ago. What the hell's that Easter Bunny? I ain't going to tell you if Santa or the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy is real or not, but I am going to tell you that Tony Khan is not buying New Japan Pro Wrestling. And let's stick with AEW. A top female talent, possibly some heat on this woman. Serena Deeb. Guys, when I talk top female, I'm not talking just popularity or somebody that's booked on the shows properly or is on every show. I'm talking behind the scenes. Serena Deeb is one of your trainers. She's one of the females that these ladies are working with hands-on with Dustin Rhodes. So, I mean, to have heat on Deeb and we don't know what type of heat from who. That's what's unknown right now. And there was a reported absence. They didn't know what the absence was. And now they think that there's at least possible major heat on her, and that's why the absence was set forth by Serena Deeb. Whether it was requested or she was sent home, who knows? But Serena Deeb was tight with Punk, don't forget. I think they even worked together in WWE, didn't they? So is this another individual that said, hold up, I don't feel right about this? And is the heat, you would have to believe, on suits and ties in AEW. I don't even know who suits and ties in AEW consists of, but I doubt it would be other talent because Serena Deeb is so highly respected. So it's an interesting story. We're going to check it out, man. I'm going to keep a keen eye on that because Serena Deeb is highly respected in the business, the industry. And in AEW, she was a top female in that locker room because she was helping these ladies get to where they want to be. A top trainer for AEW. It's not just what you saw on screen occasionally in matches or her booking. It's what she does behind the scenes. And for her to have heat, which is what the reports are saying and the reason for her absence, you got to believe this is confliction within the suits and ties aspect of it. The upper echelon. And it's interesting to see who, because you gotta really have an issue to have a problem with Serena Deeb. She's, again, highly respected. Anyway, just keeping you guys afloat on that topic, because if Serena Deeb is definitely out of AEW, that could greatly affect the females in AEW and how they're ran, because again, she had such a big position with them with Dustin Rhodes. So, little bit of tidbit. You get it all on this podcast. Big stories, little stories, BC's got you covered. Including the WWE stock, by the way. It just went down another 2 points. It's down to $81 is where it's trading off at. Now, if you guys remember, it was trading at 104 before the SmackDown announcement, and everybody started to panic because while $287 million a year for 5 years, $1.4 billion deal for SmackDown on Comcast, NBC Universal's USA Network. Why, that sounds like a lot of money, because it is. They were hoping for well over $325. So you left nearly $200 million on the table. And people were like, hold on. If that's a sign of things to come, we're going backwards. We didn't get the money that we were hoping for SmackDown. Are we going to get what we're hoping for Raw? And what's going to happen in 4 or 5 years when the next rights deals are up? I don't know about this. Went into a little bit of a panic. The releases didn't help, and they dropped 20 points in one day, basically an hour, most of those. But they went from 104 to 84. And as of today, as of the recording of this podcast, they're now trading at 81 WWE under TKO Holdings Group. 81. So they dropped to 3 more points to an 81. Now, do they dip into the 70s? They would not have seen that in over 2 years. I remember a time they were trading at 60 some odd before they started announcing record revenue, right? To really make people feel comfortable about jumping on to this ship, this WWE stock ship. And they were stretching numbers for sure, but people bought into it. 60 some odd became $70. Then they were trading at 80 some odd dollars, and then it became 90, and then we saw it go over 100. And now it's going backwards. It's about to hit the 70s. So you guys don't even have to follow the stocks to understand that WWE is losing a lot of money in the past 7 days. Past 5 days. BC will be keeping an eye on that, see if it starts to see an uptick, right? Are people feeling more comfortable? Did Jade Cargill move the needle a little bit, or at least lessen the panic? Is Jade Cargill enough to do that? Did what happened on Monday night make people go, you know what, WWE is thriving? Do they have enough of a show on Friday night? Is Fastlane driving the buzz? What you see on the product greatly affects the business side of things, I assure you. So we'll see, man. But they're trading at 81. Damn, I told you guys it was packed, jacked, and stacked. Packed, stacked, and jacked. Get the order right, BC. I told you guys, man. And I do not BS about that, man. This absolutely... I still got more stories that I could easily go over, but we're going to hold off on those. Maybe I'll put up another upload maybe later on this evening? I don't know, man. If you're subbed and notified, you're going to be the first ones to know anyway. So possibly even more coming up later, guys, but definitely a lot more coming this week. We're going to end September on a high note for sure. We're going to whoop that ass. Until next time, and there will be that next time. Top guys, we're out. BC. And he's saying check you. Peace.